Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another reaction. Today we have one requested in the executive producer queue by Midperson. This one's by Shinra Bansho. That name sounds familiar and I don't know why, but the song name is Maid Heart is a Puppet, and I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. The translation is a little bit shaky, so I'm not entirely positive that's even fully accurate, but I've got to listen to it. It is one of those songs on the executive producer queue, which means it's guaranteed, so I'm going to have to learn what it's about, and without further ado, let's go! Wait a minute. Why does this sound kind of familiar? Maid's Heart is a Puppet. Okay, it was close. They got fancy subtitles. Okay. I'm feeling a dark message from this one already. This might be one of those songs that gets a little bit creepy over time. Kind of a vibe though. It's so fun. But it doesn't make me feel good. I wonder if it's just going to sound cute the whole time or if it's going to turn to a weird direction. Hey, look at that! Right on cue. Really nice shift in the sound here. Tilt everything into a minor key, detune it a little bit. I could see that coming a mile away, but it's really fun when they do that. It's one of my favorite tropes. I wonder if they're going to do something else with it, too. Maybe they'll just stick to what they've got. I like the layering. That's a good option. And I don't think at this point they're going to revisit the dark side of things. Kind of makes sense for the storyline, so not arguing. I'm swaying from side to side. It's me! Yay! I love dark subjects and happy sounds. It's one of my favorites. So when this song started, I said something about it sounded familiar and felt familiar, and I was like, what could it be? It felt very Touhou to me, and I didn't know why, and I also didn't know what Shinra Bansho was, even though I recognized the name from somewhere. Apparently, that's Touhou related these days, literally the developers to at least some degree. I didn't dig deep into it to figure it out, but apparently that's the relation, and also why I probably recognize that that's probably something that's shared with other songs in Touhou that I have heard, because I've heard plenty of Touhou songs. I just didn't know how many or which ones I've heard. I don't really know any of them by name. I've just heard them by extension through the years. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint that sort of thing for me. But this song, maybe I've heard before, but I definitely don't remember anything of lyrics in the versions I've heard. So either I've heard a version without lyrics, or maybe this melody is a motif that's shared with another song. I would totally totally understand that as well. A lot of games like to do that and like to share these sorts of melodies in order to tie something together in a narrative sense, so that could definitely be the the case here. But I was not lying. One of my favorite tropes in music is having the happy song with a dark message. It's the reason I love producers like Millie. They do basically exclusively that, and a bunch of other people. It's just something that's always been so fascinating to me because of what you're allowed to do by throwing people off in that direction, especially when you start so otherwise innocuous with your message and you just don't have a clue anywhere in there that something's gonna go wrong. And like I said during the video, it kind of makes sense that we didn't get that dark section again, because starting positive and ending positive with just a little bit of that misstep in the center where things got detuned, which again, great way to handle that. It didn't necessarily drop the whole thing, change the entire key. It shifted it into a minor, which is a slightly different key, but then also the detuning kind of helped bridge the gap back to another key. So really it just ended up sounding like the original key, slightly detuned close to the relative minor, but not entirely in there. And that just adds to that disturbing, creepy factor of the song, because there's not much else that your brain is expecting when a song is supposed to be in a key. You want it to stay that way. Shifting keys is usually saved for something like, you know, bumping up the energy, not so much bringing it down and throwing you off that way. So creatively, that's a fun way to do that, and I appreciate the effort in that one. They could have just changed the key, but they're like, you know what we need to do? We need to make this feel a little bit more skewed than usual. So great choice on that side. And just in general, great production. Not that I expected anything different from this team once I figured out what this team was and what they're involved with, but that totally makes sense for this group. And like I said, when I put all that together, the light bulb above my head just shined so bright, and it just made so much sense. That's basically all I gotta say on this song though, because it was fun and it did have some fun elements in there. Production was great, but I can't really get into any other details because I don't think there was anything else personally that stood out in this song, aside from the cool thing about potentially using a motif from a different track, or just for some reason that was familiar to me. And otherwise, that section in the middle, it was a fun song. It was a good song. It was just a matter of how much can I glean from it and expand upon in a technical sense. And I realized not as much as I was hoping for, but that doesn't mean it's a bad song or anything. It just means that it's lacking some wow factor in there that I can grab a hold of and have a discussion about. So here we are at the end of the video. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you have something else you want me to get to, maybe a Touhou song or something else completely unrelated, it can be really anything, leave it in the comments below and I will see what I can do about that in the future. Or if you want to guarantee that I listen to something much like Mid Person did for this one, you can always go to my Patreon or my YouTube memberships. There's a tier that will force me to listen to whatever you want. It doesn't matter what it's from, who it's by, if it's good or bad, none of that matters. That's why it's a guaranteed request. But if you don't want to do any of that, maybe you just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!